everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Bella. I love all things design and DIY, and today we are addressing my fabric addiction. I'm currently making over my sewing room, as you can see by the slightly undone background. This is a huge work in progress, but one of the major things that I'm working on right now is decluttering this space. My sort of relationship with sewing, I guess, has really changed a lot in the past few years. It might look like a ridiculous amount of fabric for someone to own, but please keep in mind that I used to be a clothing designer, so a lot of this stuff is from when this was actually my job. And this is a big reason why I need to start clearing things out. I've been slowly doing this over the past year or two, I would say, but I think I'm at a place right now where I really know what my style is and the kind of pieces that I want to be making for myself. I'm not making pieces for my job anymore, so I can really start narrowing things down, and I think I'm gonna be pretty ruthless. I know in the past some of you have enjoyed the videos where I kind of show you through my fabric stash, so this is gonna be like a little bit of a tour, except I'm gonna be getting rid of a lot of it. I have Tupperware bins behind me. This is where I've been storing my fabric in the past little while. After I did a huge clean out of fabric, like after I basically closed my business, I was able to consolidate into these bins. And so I have 3 that sit under this bench behind me here, 1 under my cutting table, and I do have a closet that's currently covered by furniture I have to paint, and it's also full to the brim, so there might be a second part to this video if you enjoy it. I've kind of divided these bins into, this one is colors, and then I have one that has neutrals in it, and then the one in the middle here is the most difficult thing to sort through, and that is fabric scraps. I don't even want to get into that. That's just a whole other beast, and I don't know if I'm going to sort scraps today. Let's get started. This fuchsia denim, this is one of the most recent, I think actually the most recent fabric I picked up. This is thrifted. I'm going to keep this because I absolutely love it. I just bought it and I haven't done anything with it yet. So I need a keep pile. I'll put the keep pile close to me. This is another recent purchase. This is just a whole bunch of brown cotton gauze. I really want to make something for the summer in this, so I'm going to keep that. Okay, this is one I want to get rid of. This is a light blue, again, cotton gauze, and it has a little bit of a pattern on it. I think this might actually be a curtain that I was using for fabric. But the reason I'm getting rid of this is because I don't wear this color ever. So I'm not going to make myself something out of this. Toss. This is a really pretty green chiffon. I'm going to keep this one because, again, I haven't done anything with it yet. My problem with a lot of the chiffon fabrics that I have is that I don't have lining materials for them. So that's an obstacle when I want to just sew something really quickly. That requires a little bit more planning of going to the fabric store and matching a lining to this. But I still love this fabric, and I think I thrifted this, so I'm gonna hold on to it. This one might be the very first piece in the maybe pile. This was also a thrifted crepe that I picked up. It's coming up very washed out on the camera. It's a little bit darker than that in person. This is just not a color that I think I would gravitate towards, but I also think it's a really nice, fun statement color. So I'm gonna do a maybe pile and we will revisit this. That's something that I always like to do, is make 3 piles, 1 yes, 1 no, and 1 maybe, because I find by the time you finish sorting through everything and you're on a roll of getting rid of stuff, you're more likely to say no to a lot of the maybes as opposed to just keeping them because you're unsure. This green I'm also going to put in the maybe pile. This is like a sweatshirt sort of knit material. I was going to make a sweatshirt out of this, and I bought some navy ribbing, which I might still have, and then I was going to do navy embroidery on it, and I still really like the idea of that. I wanted to make it look like kind of like an old collegiate sort of sweater, but then I thrifted a sweater that was almost the exact same color, like a crew neck sweatshirt. So then I thought, okay, that's gonna be a little bit repetitive, but I think I got rid of that sweater. I might still have it, so this is maybe pile. This one I think I'm gonna say no. This was leftover fabric from like a thrift flip I did or something, and it's a really pretty cotton eyelet. I think somebody else would get a lot more use out of this because I love this as a fabric, but it's just not really my style of things I would wear. So I think somebody else would like that a lot more than me, so that's a no. This is a really pretty vintage fabric I thrifted. I'm keeping this because I have a lot of ideas in mind for this, and I think this is one of the next projects I'm going to work on. Another keep because I love this material just as like a staple to make basics with, but I do want to make a long kind of like slinky dress with this. So again, that's coming up, projects that I'm going to be doing soon. It does seem like there's a lot of yeses, but that's because we're at the top of the bin where my most recent things have gone in. This is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. This is a really pretty pastel tweed material. I've purchased this multiple times from fabric stores. I've found it at thrift stores, and I've made quite a few things with this. This fabric was like one of the first things I probably sewed with when I started like selling clothes, and I have a soft spot for it, but honestly, like, it's not the nicest material, and if I was gonna go for a tweed now, I don't think I would go for this pale pink. I'm not really into wearing pastels so much, and I think I could get something a little bit better quality that's like actually wool if I wanted to really go for that like tweed look. So this is gonna go. It's interesting, all of my no's so far are white and pastel, and all of my yeses are like punchy colors like the one I'm wearing, and browns. So that gives you an idea of what my sort of style is like. This is another one. No, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep this one. This is a really pretty lace. It has this daisy print on it, which I think is kind of unique for a lace, and I have a fair bit of this. I really want to get into making bras one day. It's just like a whole skill level that I don't have and that I just think is fascinating. So I do like to save some laces like this because I think they would make really pretty bras or corsets, stuff like that. This is one of my favorites. It's a pink wool houndstooth. This is a vintage fabric. Keeping this, and I keep saving this. I've had this for like over a year now probably. I think maybe 2 falls have passed when I think I'm gonna do something with this and I don't, because I want it to be the perfect thing. So maybe this will finally be the time. I would love a coat in this, but I don't think I have enough. This is not going well so far, guys. Okay, here's another pastel I can get rid of. It's just a banana yellow, like, I don't know what this is called, but it's like a polyester lining sort of fabric. I think this might have actually been a lining I cut out of something. There is quite a bit of fabric here to work with, but I'm gonna pass this on to a new home. This red I think I'm gonna keep because I do like red and want to actually, am I gonna keep this? I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. Okay, this brown I have had for, again, quite a while. 2 falls have passed of me owning this fabric and not doing anything with it. I do think it is like really my style though. It's just a tricky one to figure out what to do with it because it's this really nice brown paisley, but it's stretchy. It's like a spandexy material, and then you can kind of see, like, if I stretch it, you can kind of see through it a little bit, and the backing is white. So whatever it is, I don't want it to be tight because I don't want to like distort the coloring or the print, but this is like buttery soft, and I think whatever it does make would be gorgeous. It's just a lot of print because my instinct is just like a long sleeve, long, like somewhere between a bodycon and a shift dress, like just something that skims. I get it. It just skims you. Yeah, but I don't know if that would look good in that print. So we will see. This is another vintage pastel. I do not need this. Goodbye. This yellow chiffon I really love, and I also do know where I can get more of this if I want to do a project that has more fabric in it. But it's a really pretty, like, kind of, it almost looks like a like watercolor gingham pattern. I'm gonna keep this because this is one of my favorites that I have not used yet. This one I think I'm gonna get rid of. I thrifted this. I really like it, but again, it kind of has the same problem as the paisley I was talking about, where the back is very light. So if you stretch this, it does like distort the coloring a little bit. It also doesn't have that much stretch, and it's just like not in colors that I love for me. So this is toss. This is the navy ribbing. I think I'm gonna keep this just because it's good to have ribbing on hand, and then if I keep the green, I can go through with that project. This is a really beautiful fabric. A lot of these pastel things are remnants from when I was selling clothing. So this isn't really a color that I would wear in my personal wardrobe. Even though the fabric is stunning, I'm going to get rid of this because I think someone else would really appreciate this. Again, another pastel that I have a lot of. I did make quite a few pieces out of this to sell, and this is just not a color that I wear, so goodbye. Another pastel, goodbye. This is kind of a similar sort of look to the daisy lace. I also really like this pattern. I like keeping laces that aren't like a stereotypical lace floral pattern, and so I think this is a good alternative to that, so I'm gonna keep it.